Good morning. So good to see your faces. Well, it is 10 o'clock a.m. and we are in business. And Jared has just put the slides in the chat, so you can go ahead and grab those. And on the welcome slide, which is that second slide, it's asking you to introduce yourself in our shared Google Doc. So if we go here, just click on that, and you will find, morning, Kirsten.
Hi there.
Hi, good to see you again. You will see that there is space for you to go ahead and answer a question about yourself. So this is one that actually got very interesting in my classes. We had students saying all kinds of really interesting things in the spring. So something about others wouldn't easily know about you. For some reason, this particular group of students all wanted to talk about their near-death experiences, but very, very interesting. But for me, I once aspired to be a singer and I enjoy thumb wrestling. So we would love to know some things about you, and we'll be able to share those with everybody in the next session too. So go ahead and take a minute to do that. Okay. So as you all are rolling in, we always try to give a few minutes in order for you to just kind of complete this document with your name, your college, something others wouldn't easily know about you, which will be fun for next session when we kind of think about the everybody who's here together. And then always want to do a check-in with folks to see how you're doing. That's an important practice that we do in our classes. And it looks like most people are doing pretty well. Okay, I think Jamie, I'm like almost with you on this one. Oh, Kirsten. Okay, so it's on the second slide with where it says welcome. So if you go to that second slide, but I'll go ahead and share this document in the chat as well, and that'll make it easier for folks. Okay, there you go. Good morning, Susan. So good to see you. I'm so happy you're here. So happy all of you are here. This is wonderful. Good morning. Good morning. Hi, Juan. Good to see you. Okay, so we are again on slide right now on slide 2, and I'm going to just put the Google Doc in the chat, and I believe that Jared or Isha is going to put the document in here. Perfect. Thank you, Isha. Thank you so much. And we're down to our last minute before we get started. So we just wanted to very, very quickly, Jared is our timekeeper. Jared, did you want to start us off with introductions?
Sure. Hello, my name is Jared Balduzzi. I'm a former student of Koning's, and I will be your timekeeper and helping as a student facilitator for today.
And when I say he's the timekeeper, that means that he has the most important role of any facilitation experience. But Jared is also a very experienced ePortfolio designer, and he'll be sharing with us moving forward. Anna, did you want to introduce yourself?
Oh, sure. I'm Anna Mann. I'm also a student facilitator, and I'll be sharing my portfolio later, so I'm excited about that.
Thank you so much. Jamie?
Hi all, Jamie Cooper. I'm helping Keelan out by being the representative STEM ePortfolio person. I know there's not many of you, so share it around. We are out there, we do exist, but we are definitely in the minority right now. So I will be sharing some of my STEM side of things later.
We are evangelizing for sure. Thank you so much. Okay, and Trang?
Good morning, I'm Trang Abid, and I found Keelan and ePortfolios when I was asked to be on the AB 705 task force, if you can remember that, from our college in Sacramento. And so that's how I was able to find Keelan and integrate ePortfolios into my classroom. So,
in 2020. That's right. Oh my goodness. Yes, this was our contribution for sure. Isha, did you want to introduce yourself?
Hello, I'm Isha. I'm also a student facilitator and I'm a former student of Professor Koning.
Thank you so much. Teresia?
Hello, everyone. My name is Teresia Megdesi. I am also a student facilitator and I am a previous student of Professor Koning. And I am here to share and help to my experience about ePortfolios.
Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you so much. And we unfortunately do not have time to go around and have introductions from everybody right now. That's why we have our Google Doc. But we did definitely want you to get a sense of the facilitators, and especially the fact that there are so many student facilitators here and designers that you're going to be able to work alongside and get ideas from and bounce those off of them. So we're excited about that. My name is Keelan Koning. I am with 3CSN. I am the communications coordinator, among other things, and I've been with 3CSN since 2017. And I actually, as a response, as I mentioned, during the pandemic, ePortfolios was something that I thought that I could bring to people as they kind of thought about, like, how am I going to assess my students? And at that time I met Trang and others along the way, Jamie, and then always bringing my students in as well into this work because we can't do it without them. It truly has been a collaborative and beautifully collaborative process with our students, and really happy to have Anna here as a student who took a STEM course, but is not in the STEM field yet. Jamie might be converting her, I don't know. But we just are really grateful that we have this space to talk about equitable assessments together as we continue to grow. Okay. So Jared is keeping me on track, which I appreciate so much. 3CSN is the California Community Colleges Success Network. We've been around since 2008. We've been around for about 13 years. Okay, so as we have this mission to develop leaders in California community colleges who have the capacity to facilitate networks of faculty, staff, and students for curricular and institutional redesigns in support of increased student access, success, equity, and completion. We do professional learning, especially right now around guided pathways as we help with those efforts. But we are practitioners who are supporting other practitioners in these goals, and we have a lot of leadership opportunities. We may have heard of Wayfinding Online. I know some of you have been with us on that journey as well. This is our theory of change, and the important thing to know about the theory of change that some of you may be familiar with this tool is that we believe that community college professionals will transform their identities when we provide this training on networking and use action research. So it's always research based, and the community college professionals will transform their identities and environments to create communities of practice that will produce these powerful learning and working across campuses. And this is going to lead to greater student success. But relationships are very important in this and networking. And here is our series overview. So we just wanted to take a quick minute or 20 seconds, as Jared has let me know, this is in your email. This is basically just a run through of what we're going to do together. But what I do want to mention here and highlight is that this first day, we are going to look at some ideas about what thinkers are saying about it, what professionals in the field are saying, what students are saying, and then we're going to look a little bit into backward design and think about what your goals are. Okay, so that's going to be today. The next one is going to be practicing a little bit. So we are going to work on creating that shell, that ePortfolio shell. And that means that rather than doing a whole ePortfolio, because we know that might feel overwhelming, you're going to create a welcome page. So we're going to be making that welcome page that will help you based on the design that you're thinking about. Okay, that backward design thinking that you have in place. Okay. And we're going to divide it into groups so that you're working with people who have similar goals. So whether you're doing an ePortfolio centered classroom, which a majority of you sounds like you are, or you just want to do like a liquid syllabus or course site or professional ePortfolio, or if you actually want to, implement a program or whole college ePortfolio process, we're going to be working with you as small groups, and it looks like a few of you are doing each of those other two as well. Okay, so that's basically what's going to happen. And then we have, sorry, this is very sensitive. Okay, here we go. All right, our design lab objectives, and those are to expand knowledge of the ePortfolio as a tool for engagement, retention, completion, and assessment in all learning environments, to reflect on the connection between ePortfolios and student/educator identity and success, to meaningfully engage in designing an ePortfolio project based on your particular area of interest in partnership with students. And we do want to say this is new. This part is new. So we're excited about it because we've actually been really wanting to do this to give you that particular kind of experience, honing in on your interest. And then exploring how to weave reflection and assessment into a personal ePortfolio-based classroom and/or a program, and learn ways to support students in creation of ePortfolios. All right, and Teresa, I'm passing it to you.
Thank you. So for the session 1 agenda, we're going to talk about the 3 CSN community agreements and overview, getting oriented, how to navigate this lab, sharing our why, a Jamboard gallery walk of readings, spotlight, students and past participants share their ePortfolios, and guts and needs and homework review.
Couldn't have said it better myself. All right, and now we are passing it over to Trang and Isha.
Yes, so here are our community agreements. So please take just a minute to look over the community agreements. And the community agreements are just a way for us to kind of engage in this particular environment more collaboratively and positively. And if we can kind of move into the next slide there, well, take a few minutes to look through here. And if you can look over at the next slide and there's, notice that there's anything that you would like to add to our community agreements, please feel free to put it in the chat and we will add that to our agreement.
So this section is just about while we are here, we will do these things. These are to attend to ourselves because a lot of times we forget about that. So Trang actually wanted us to add this about a year ago, and I thought it was a wonderful idea to pull this in.
Because I think we set them up for our students, right? Like having a growth mindset and, making sure that we're engaged, challenging ourselves, but then we don't think about ourselves.
Okay, and all of this is on your slides. And if there's anything that you do want to add, please add it. And if you find that you perhaps want to do this later on in the session, you're like, oh, I really think we should add that. That is absolutely fine, because having these agreements helps us to set ourselves up for an excellent learning experience together. All right, are we seeing anything in the chat?
Not yet, maybe as we progress.
Okay, are we good to move on, everybody? Yes. Jared says yes. Oh, good, Kirsten. Thank you so much. Okay. And now we are going to talk about navigating our lab. So let me go ahead and share with you Okay. Teresa, does that mean that you want to share that? Okay. Okay, hold on one second. No, we're for this one, we are going to go ahead and look at our site itself. So we're going to go to the ePortfolio. We wanted to just show you. Here we go. Okay. We wanted to show you our ePortfolio site in order to just give you some navigation support as you move through. A long time, well, it feels like a long time ago in 2020, a million years ago, Jared and I were talking as we were working on designing the labs. And we really thought that if we were doing an ePortfolio lab, we really should create an ePortfolio. So this is a home base for you. And we have the home here. We hope that this will spark some ideas. And this is all designed by Teresa, these beautiful buttons, very festive. So every time we have a new design, and this time Teresa worked with me on it, and Jared also. So yes, okay, beautifully overwhelming. Thank you, Kirsten. So that's why we thought we would take a minute to just kind of go over it as well. And Jared, please, and Teresa, please jump in when you can, or when it feels right to you. But I know that we have a tight timeline again, because I know Jared's going to tell me in a minute that we've got 1 minute left. But here you can click on this if you need to go to the design lab and you have lost your link in your email. We know how that goes. So you can just come here. You can go to community hours, which are happening on Mondays from 10 to 11 o'clock. So that is our time for you. And we really encourage you. A lot of times folks who come to the community hours tend to feel a lot more comfortable with this space. And this is something that you can also do with your students. It's kind of like your office hours, but it's a community hour because you're bringing everybody together. And this is a practice that I have been doing with my students, including occupying classrooms where, now that we've gone back in person, it's been really a powerful tool. So the learning that happens in these community hours, Train can tell you, I can tell you, we have testament of like just encouraging each other in the way that Train does it, which is more like, do it, right? That is very powerful and helps us to sometimes get over that anxiety, because we'll talk a little bit about the whole semester ePortfolios, which was something that I had a lot of anxiety about and actually did not start until after we did the design lab together in the summer of 2020. So it's a space where we can kind of encourage each other and help each other out. So we will, and Trang is going to remind me about this, or you all can remind as well. We are going to be asking you whether 10 o'clock is good on Mondays, or if there's another time on Mondays that might work for you. We kind of like the idea of having, every couple of days, like a check-in. But if 10 o'clock is definitely not good for you, then we can try to find a time that might work for a majority of people. This participant guide, it's not exactly a participant guide, but that is the document that you all were in. This is kind of our participant space, I guess, our Google site that we created together. Jared and Iris's how-to and review presentation, this ePortfolio platform overview is fabulous. And this is a space where you can actually see the different types of platforms and basically a review that Jared and Iris have made about like how they like it as students and what they think about it and how you can use it. So I would definitely, if you're feeling like, I really don't know where to get started, this is a beautiful place to do that. The ePortfolio gallery, this is where you can see examples of other people's work. And then we have the unhomework assignments. And this was a word that came from Leslie last summer from West LA College. who said, well, you know, we had been in, and I just want to give a shout out to Jennifer Escobar, who is here with us, who is our ungrading guru for 3CSN and just the world. And Jennifer, you know, when we thought about ungrading, okay, we're to time, but when we thought about ungrading, one of the participants said, well, we can call it unhomework because it's application, it is thinking through, it's stuff that's going to help you to kind of, you know, stay on track and make your goals come to fruition, right? And sometimes we need that little extra push. So we'll show you at the end of the session about that. And then we have all of these resources here that are available as well. And the Padlet is living down here. Okay, I have been told that it is time, so we're going to go ahead and move on. Go back to our slides. Okay. All right, so any questions about the navigation part? Jared, would you mind putting the link to the Google site in the chat so that they can also, I had meant to put it here, but I feel like I did not do that. The housekeeping stuff, okay. So now we're going to, Diana unfortunately is ill right now and she wasn't able to be with us. So we decided that because she does such a wonderful job of talking about the connection between guided pathways and ePortfolios, that we would ask her virtually, we would take a clip of a video from last summer, which Juan Huezo, who is here, is nodding because he's seen it before, you know, but if you've seen it before, it's definitely worth watching again. So we will go ahead and share that right now. Let me share my sound. And if anybody's having any trouble hearing, you just let me know. And I'm going to move my chat so I can see things more easily.
So why ePortfolios? Why have we decided to focus on this? Well, it has been identified by the Association of American Colleges and Universities as the 11th high impact practice influencing post-secondary education. It's an ideal format for collecting evidence of students' learning. It helps us map institutional pathways that demonstrate achievable learning outcomes. It also helps facilitate student reflection upon and engaging with their own learning. And it's a transparent and portable way to demonstrate knowledge, skills, and abilities that our students are gaining as they progress through our community college system. It motivates change in the academy, and it's just overall a wonderful practice as you will get to experience. So how does this tie into our guided pathways efforts? Many of us are in our implementation stage, designing, you know, how we're going to do this. And, you know, it helps us because it provides us a set of practices that makes learning visible. So as we help students clarify the path and enter the path and stay on the path and ensure learning, ePortfolios really can address each one of these pillars. But really, more importantly, it really does ensure learning. And then today, in our age of guided pathways, many of us have been and continue to do first-year experience programs, first-year seminars, and ePortfolios is definitely one element that can be introduced into these you know, strategies for success, as it helps with, you know, reflection and developing graduation plans and student ed plans and helping students think about their experience holistically. And also it helps us to think about how we can collaborate together and develop co-curricular curriculum, you know, to help students make connections across the disciplines, help students build skills. And then this also provides a community where students can start interacting together and sharing their ePortfolios. And especially now with us being remote, and we will continue to be hybrid, I am definitely, you know, seeing this pattern that we help students build a digital community and a digital presence online.
Thank you, Diana. So hopefully that helps with the connection with.
So why ePortfolios? Why have we decided to focus on this? Well,
all right. And now we are going to pass this over to Jamie for more about our why.
Okay, I'm going to swap really quick so that I'm in control of the slides, because I have to go through what is basically an hour or two long presentation in like 2 minutes. So I'm going to do my best to make this as clear as possible, but just know that like the point of me giving this and sharing this with you is that we really want you to understand that like when we talk about best practices, we're meaning like from research, not just we think that this is the best or we've had good experience with it in our own classrooms. This is from a wide range of people. So obviously guided pathways, the whole point of guided pathways is that we are helping students be successful. And what we are seeing in the research and in our own classrooms is that ePortfolios support that success, and they support it at a variety of levels. So the first way that they support it is shown here. It's a human need. We are actually helping students to be able to feel this accomplishment when they get this site done. They also have this ability to be creative, which helps them feel like they are presenting themselves to the world, which is valuable. So we collected some data with this in our own classrooms. And what we found is that 93% of the students said that this ePortfolio gave them the opportunity to be seen as an individual, which is just phenomenal. 61% felt like it gave them confidence in their abilities as a student. And a huge 73% not only felt like it helped success in this course, but felt like it actually was giving them a higher success rate than they would have had in comparable courses that aren't using ePortfolios. Another way that I have seen that research talks about ePortfolios helping is that it's high quality learning, which is what we're all going for. So great, that's our goal anyway. When we're doing ePortfolios, we're really focusing here on the evaluating and creating side. Our students see the same thing. They felt like about 64 and 65% both helped them reflect on their learning and enhance their learning, which is phenomenal. This is my favorite, equity. Often equity is in, we think we're being equitable by, well, everyone's taking the same exam. But what we're really focusing on with ePortfolios is allowing students to help us know how best to assess them so that we can really get out what they really know. And so 76% strongly agreed with the fact that completing the ePortfolio helped them grow as a student. 75% felt like it did actually help them with representing what they knew. And 82% of them definitely approved of it over exams. So that was good to know. And the last one is that often we're getting students who are coming in from a very checklist mindset. What do I need to do to get the grade? It's not about the learning, it's about what check boxes do I need to do. And this has been a big one for me. In science, you need to know how to actually look at the problem and where to go with it. And so ePortfolios help support student growth towards an independent learning style. They know what they need to do. And we found that 82% of them, and this is a great thing because the whole point of being independent is that you move towards the job world and being able to do it in the careers. 82% of them saw that their confidence with websites was greatly increased, and they felt that was a direct connection with something they would potentially be doing. And then about 82% of my students felt like they actually did have some fun working on the portfolios. So I just wanted to share all of that. That's super fast, and I can talk about all of that in greater detail with you. But all of those are my whys as to why I dug into that, why I started doing ePortfolios more. So here is going to be your opportunity, where we want to see what your why is. Why are you here? What is bringing you to ePortfolios? And what is it that you would like to see your students or you yourself getting out of this? So we are going to give you, let's see, at this point, what do you think, Keelan? 3 minutes, 2 minutes? I don't know what to give anymore. We're a little behind.
You're at 2 minutes. Jared says 2.
2, okay. 2 minutes to give us your why. So if you wouldn't mind, go ahead and just put some comments in the chat box about your why. Why ePortfolios? What's bringing you here?
Student-centered learning, better understanding, relevance for students, engagement, self-reflection. Yes, that's a really important part of this for sure. Authentic voice and metacognition. Oh, this is going to be a really good word cloud. All right.
And that is time. So please feel free to wrap up any last thoughts and put them in the chat, and we'll move on.
And Teresa is going to take these beautiful words and make them into a word cloud. So that's exciting. We will be showing you that a little bit later. Right, and now, Jared, you're up. So did you want to share your screen or do you want me to share mine?
Oh, I can share my screen. That's fine.
Perfect.
Alrighty. Just going to be showing you guys how to use the Jamboard, which you can also find on the presentation. So all we're going to have to do is we want you to use the sticky note feature, which can be found right here. What you do is you'll click on it, and you can add anything on there relating to the assignment that we will have you do. So what we'll have you do real quick, I'll just explain, is to review the posts, which consist of quotations, and just use them to share your ideas and your thoughts on the application, essentially. So we'll just put, I like this because, and you can hit save. And then from there, you should be able to click and drag wherever you like. So just feel free to use the sticky notes feature to essentially share your thoughts and ideas that are surfacing from any of the readings and quotations.
Thank you so much, Jared. And these are the readings that we are actually going to be diving into. This is a way to kind of preview the readings and get you excited about it, and also see some quotes from students and what the ePortfolios meant to them. So if you could take, Jared, how many minutes do we have for this?
If we can shoot for 6, that'd be amazing.
All right, sounds good. Okay, let's try that. And just remember, this will still be here for you after these 6 minutes are over. All this stuff is still going to be here.
So what we'll be doing is that we'd like you to take a few minutes to reflect on the following questions. And I'd like to, when you're doing the reflection, please take a few minutes, just a couple minutes to kind of write something down. This really helps with that kind of reflection. So you can draw, free write, etc. Considering the Jamboard discussion and your prior knowledge of and experience with ePortfolios, as well as our sharing this morning, take just 3 minutes to reflect on the following questions. What ideas are surfacing? What knowledge do you bring to this work? What would you like to know more about? What goals do you have for the lab or for your own ePortfolio in the fall or summer? And I think we do have it. Keelan, if we can move on to the next slide, please.
Yes, I am getting the rooms ready right now.
Yes, now we're going to take a few minutes to be in breakout rooms, and this is a practice, an equity practice that supports providing an equitable amount of time for each participant. You can use this in your classrooms. So part of the protocol is to, as you're in your breakout rooms, take a few minutes to introduce yourselves, just like, I don't know, 30 seconds again, and then 2 minutes per person to share their ideas. And it's important to not interrupt them. And then after everyone has been given 2 minutes, there'll be 2 minutes of crosstalk. And then we'll come back as a larger group to kind of share with each other some of the takeaways from the breakout rooms. So as Keelan is getting ready to put us in the breakout rooms, that's what you'll be doing. So you'll be sharing some of the things that came from your drawing or free writing of the questions in the Think Trio Share.
Okay, just one moment, because I saw that Juan needs to leave. So Juan, I'm going to put you in room 12. Okay, so just don't go there. How about that? All right, here we go. We hope that was fun. We know that it was not enough time. It never is, right? You know, you start talking about something and then somebody drags you back. But we gotta, you know, we gotta keep on time so that we can get through many important things. And next up is actually something that I think that you're gonna definitely want to come back to, because we are going to be looking at the students and hopefully some of our faculty work as well. Okay, so we're going to move through this so that we can get there. All right, so the first person who is going to share and present right now is going to be Anna, and Anna is going to show us her amazing Google site that she created in her course with Jamie, or Dr. Cooper, as we like to call her. She just raised her hand. Okay. So let me go ahead and stop sharing. So Anna, you can share, and we are excited to see and hear from you.
Okay. So let me get on my portfolio. So this is my homepage of my my ePortfolio. I took geology, and like I have everything laid out. I made an about me page and related pages, and then I have pages for kind of the assignments that I worked on in the class, and then I have my my reflection, kind of reflecting overall on the class. So I think one thing that, like, you know, starting on this class, I did not know anything about like ePortfolios or anything, but like I'm really surprised just how much I was able to put myself into it. So here I have my about me. I wanted to put some pictures in it. I have a lot of related things. I even have a page about my cat, completely unrelated. But I think that's something that's cool about the ePortfolio is like you can put yourself into it. Like, sure, I don't need a cat page for my geology class, but I was having so much fun making this site anyways that I'm like, I'll just add, you know, just add a page for my cat. I think it really made this class like it made it really enjoyable. I got to put myself in it, you know. For my actual assignments, since this was a STEM course, I was initially kind of like, oh, it's just going to be kind of impersonal, you know, just doing STEM stuff, right? But what I honestly found was the ePortfolio format really helped me like bring myself into it. Like I would make like essays and I could put like pictures into it. And I also like how being an ePortfolio, it's something like that you share, right? So usually if I would make an assignment or something, I would just like do it keeping in mind that, oh, this is just for the professor. But for an ePortfolio, like anyone can see this. And so I think that really helped me just kind of keep that in the back of my mind. So when I was making this essay, for example, I did it from the mindset of, oh, I want to teach anyone who visits this ePortfolio site, kind of, I want to, teach them about plate tectonics or teach them about minerals. And I think that sort of simplifying and that sort of mentality kind of helped me just learn the material even more than if I had just made like a regular essay. Another thing was it didn't have to be essays. I could really kind of push the format on what I was learning. So for example, I like to go hiking. So I decided that I would bring one of my favorite hiking spots and kind of turn it into a learning assignment. So I have like all these pictures and I talk about, sort of the geologic processes that formed it. So I'm relating geology to, just my own life and my own passion for hiking, I guess, and photography. I like taking pictures with my phone. And just take a look at one of my other assignments. I made a 3D model.
Nice.
So I like doing art. So like, I think the ePortfolio is great for, it can just show all these different things. If I want to make a 3D model and put it on there, like that can count for an assignment. And so like, I thought that was really amazing. And here was my reflection, just kind of going over how I felt, all my goals and stuff. And I really came out being really proud of this ePortfolio, and I would definitely make another. Like, it's not only fun, but like, I think it definitely reflects how much I learned over the course of the semester. So yeah, that's my ePortfolio.
Thank you so much. Well, you're getting a lot of love in the chat.
That's great.
So much. That's right. As you should, very much so. And now we're going to go ahead and move forward to Teresa.
Yes, thank you. So, my ePortfolio is a special website for me because I started as a beginner to add random pictures that doesn't really reflect my personality, as you can see here. I picked an architectural background, even though I like architecture, but it didn't seem like the right one for me. So I kept working on myself throughout the semester every time I have some free time. So this is the new one. I ended up with this background representing an old cabin, which is the symbol of my home back in Lebanon, in the countryside where I feel comfortable and happy. So then I wrote a little description about me here, and after that, resources about me and outside the classroom. We can take a look at about me here. So this is a detailed description about me, the high schools I attended with the link of each one. You can click on it and it takes you to the proper link of each high school, the city I was raised in, and my favorite subject. Going into the outside the classroom page, here are my favorite places in Lebanon. Yeah, some YouTube videos, favorite movies, favorite documentary, favorite songs, musical artists, playlists that you can go through, activities that I enjoy, favorite car, and favorite series. Then here are my goals and outcomes for the semester and for English 115. This is my outcomes. My blog posts, my 3 blog posts. The first one is Citizen. We work on it with Professor Koning in class. The second is art blog post. I really like to include like GIF to make it exciting and much more interesting to go through. Yeah, and my third is Becoming Me blog post right here. Then after that comes my exercises. The first is C from Citizen. We work also on it in the classroom. The second is a concept map. I included a concept map also. The third one is a poem that I wrote. It's called Where I'm From poem. Yeah. Then come my major works. The first is my progression paper. I included like Google Slides. In that way, you can't get overwhelmed from the size of the paper that I wrote. It is divided into pieces, and each piece can reflect about a current picture or a current idea that I talked about. Also with the works cited, of course. Then my progression 3 paper as well. It's the same process and the same way that, yeah. Also with the works cited. Next come my personal reading and writing history. I included some resources for the underlined words. Then finally comes my ePortfolio project statement. It is divided into 2 pieces, my content reflection and my design reflection. The content reflection, I talked about my feelings coming into the course, and I included some explanation about the readings that we went through the semester, and 2 reflections about why I included the progression papers in my ePortfolio. Then my design reflection. I talked about how I started my ePortfolio from a beginner to how I begin progressing through the semester, and how this site helped me include new ideas in different ways. And also it helped me to organize my work. Thank you. That's the final slide.
Thank you so much. So much of your personality here. And we really wanted to showcase, because sometimes we, even students and faculty will get very intimidated by the process and say like, oh, but, yes, that one turned out, great. Like, I can't do that, right? Teresa must be an artist. And so kind of seeing that process can ease their minds a lot. And also as educators, practitioners can also ease our minds a little bit as we think like, okay, we might start somewhere and we're going to grow together. All right, so next up is going to be Jared. And Jared is going to show us his ePortfolio that he created in, just quickly, his ePortfolio that he created in the freshman composition course in my class. And then he's going to show us what he's done since then.
Hello, so I have to have my camera off at the moment because my computer's a little slow, so bear with me on that. But so just like the previous students who've gone, this was my ePortfolio as a student. Just gonna briefly go through that, but essentially why this was so important for me is that it gave me an opportunity to essentially reflect on my work and to essentially show myself, show my identity through this beautiful creation, which I then later transitioned into trying to incorporate this into my profession. So I want to be, in the industry, the film industry or whatever. And I figured the best way to essentially show my worth is by taking all my work as I previously done as a student, but putting it inside a similar working, I'm going to call it a body, a living and breathing body, because it's constantly growing and I will never stop working on this. Essentially, it's a living, breathing document that I will always continue adding on to. So I would just take this opportunity to briefly go through some of the content in here, some of my photography stuff. But essentially, ePortfolios are important to me, not only in a case of learning, but essentially just showing off, the work I can perform. And sorry, I'm getting a little tongue twisted. But essentially, ePortfolios are important because it's essentially showing others, who I am and how this is super important. And I'm just briefly going through some of the photography aspects. But what I appreciate about doing this, oh, if this will load. I appreciate the opportunity it's given me to reflect essentially on everything. Sorry, I'm just going through all this. I think the lag on here is killing me, breaking my train of thought. But sorry. But I think ePortfolios are very important for not only my education purposes, but essentially just who I am as a person. And working on ePortfolios in the past, I've actually managed to get a few gigs off of this, showing people how important these can be for not only just students as a reflection process, but essentially continue forward in like a career. This is an opportunity to get a job. This is kind of like a more modern, updated resume. The paper resume is becoming obsolete at this point. People want to see the work. People want to see who and what you can be and why you can be an important asset. And I think ePortfolios essentially is the perfect tool to demonstrate all that is needed to show everybody what you're worth.
Thank you so much, Jared. That was just very inspiring, and also does a wonderful, I think, wonderful example. It provides a wonderful example of how we can use those for our personal ePortfolios as well. So it's not just a tool for the classroom, but it's also for career. And it's something that students, when you look at that picture, I was very struck by the picture, the chiaroscuro, is that right, Jared?
Oh yeah, chiaroscuro.
I'm getting closer. I'm trying to learn my Italian pronunciation, but that shadow and light image on the cover, and then looking at that from the ePortfolio that he made when he was, in freshman year, and having that still be there, at the end of his junior year is very cool. I mean, that means that some of those things have continued forward in that amount of time. So really, really cool. Thank you so much. And we wanted to also give Isha the floor. So Isha, would you like to share, please? Thank you so much. Isha is really an artist who is living in the body of an accountant.
So here's my ePortfolio. It starts at my homepage, which says, welcome to my ePortfolio. I did this one for English 115 in last fall. The front page just has a picture of me and a small about me section that explains who I am, what my major is, that I'm a freshman still. The second page, I added the goals and outcomes. So this was for specifically for the English class, plus the student learning outcomes for CSUN, which is over here, and the reflection I did at the end of the semester. My outside the classroom page shows who I am as an individual. So I'm into art and music. So I made this whole page about my art and music. Like I put a drawing next to a video link and kept that format throughout the whole page.
And I just want to, can you scroll up just slightly?
Yeah.
We cannot like just brush past the fact that these are your artworks. They are
Yeah.
phenomenal.
From there, I also included a picture I took at a concert I just went to not too long ago, and put a list over there too. Some more artworks from one of my old classes that you could scroll through. I used a lot of the features that were available on Wix, which I found very helpful. Even more over here. And some songs and links to the songs and the artists I listen to. For my personal reading and writing history, I put it all in this one page, so it's very easy to find and navigate through, plus a picture that tied into something I was talking about in one of the paragraphs, so I was able to link that into my reading and writing history. My major works page shows 2 of my essays, so when I click on it, you could click over here or here, but it will bring you to the page where it has one of my papers. And it's also written in that same format, which is pretty easy to navigate. And I'm able to add pictures at the end as well, works that I did. My blog page is also pretty similar. It has the 3 posts that we did while we were in class. If I click on one, the format looks like this. It's very clean and organized. I love that we're able to add pictures and there's comments available too. If any classmates wanted to comment on what I was saying and add on to it. My exercises also have these animations that just flew into the screen. So I tried keeping my theme pretty consistent throughout my ePortfolio, which a lot of students will want to do, which is what I noticed. Some writings that I did. And finally, my project statement, which was a reflection of my ePortfolio. So overall, I think the ePortfolio helps organize all the work and things that you did throughout the semester in a clean place, which is highly organized.
Oh, thank you so much, Isha. And what a wonderful presenter. Oh my goodness, you all are wonderful presenters. It's amazing. Yes, Kirsten, the other student I was mentioning earlier that the other students from my classes like always get a lot out of seeing Isha's portfolio because of they learn how to do those animations, which they get really excited about. It's really fun. All right, so Jared, you said that we have 3 minutes, is that right?
Yes.
Okay, so Trang and I in 3 minutes, and then Jamie wanted to just very quickly talk about, and I know again, we want to pause after each one and just like take it in, right? But because we're on such a tight timeline, we're gonna just like micro take it in, and then we'll let it resonate, right? Ripple. But Trang and I actually started doing student design labs starting in I believe, was it the fall of 2020? Yeah. So we started in the fall of 2020 to do student design labs, and the 2 of us worked together to bring our students together from the 2 campuses, so Cal State Northridge and Cosumnes River College. They come together and they learn together in this space where they show each other the work. And I know Teresa went to many of them. Alessandra, who couldn't be here today, went to several of them, and Jared helped us with them. So many students have been involved in those. But the students, there's a lot of identity that happens there. And Tring, I don't know if you want to take like 1 minute to just talk about that.
It's really interesting. I think that Zoe looked at one of the e-portfolios from where they started. And after attending a design lab, which is where there's like either a student mentor or a facilitator that helps walk them through how to design the e-portfolio, then we start seeing transformations in their e-portfolio. I had a one student where she came to a design lab. She had kind of an idea what she wanted to do. And then by seeing an example, she was like, oh, I want to do that. I want to do this particular carousel. I want to know how to do it. So what she did is that the student facilitator went through the process and then she applied it. And then she could teach it to other students. So I think there's just that collaboration where the students learn from each other, where we don't have to be the experts all the time. And that's something that the design labs help facilitate and kind of foster. That's the most notable thing that I've seen from the design labs.
It's actually not a good thing to be the expert because they teach each other. So we want to make sure that we're not, we're coming at it as co-learners. So we say, okay, well, what do you want to work on? And let's figure this out together. And I have learned so much because as Jared can tell you, and Lizzie will tell you next session, she'll be here with us. Okay, so Lynn is asking, so students who did this in Design Lab were not enrolled in a course. They are enrolled students. They're students that are enrolled in both of our courses who are working on the ePortfolios. And actually we can open it up because it's virtual. We can open it up to any of your students as well, and you can be part of it as well. So we would like to grow it because it's something that I think is very useful, and we try to do it on Fridays. Sometimes Trang does it during her class. I come to her class and I get to see her students growing, which is really amazing to see that happen. So, that's another thing that we have as this community and this, burgeoning community of practice. We have that available too. And Jamie, did you want to take the last 30 seconds to talk about sorry, Jared's telling me it's 30 seconds.
30 seconds. I run a liquid syllabus that is my ePortfolio, which is how I actually got hooked up with Keelan. Is she taught me, and I think Trang was there too, taught me how to do ePortfolio because I wanted it for my liquid syllabus. And then I liked it so much, I ended up implementing it as my semester-long course for my earth sciences. So I use it for my own professional side, course information, that kind of thing. Then I have the students run it as their learning assessment as well. And so I'm sure I'll have more time later to talk about it, but that's where I come from. And you saw Anna's, they get to show me their learning. They get to provide, it's a science class, so they provide evidence of learning. And so that's where I come from with the student course side. And I have not gotten to join in the design labs with them yet, but it's something that's in the back of my mind that I want to try and get my class kind of going there. But I have implemented some things in my own class that the students are working together during class sometimes as well. So kind of a combination.
Jamie, that was amazing because Jared is telling me that we are exactly on time right now. Wow. Look at that. Okay. If you're looking for someone to be on time, it's going to be Jamie with the timing. Very good. Okay. So we are moving forward. So if everybody has their slides, we're going to ask you to click on this, but I'll go ahead and click on it anyway and just make sure, or if one of you might, one of the facilitators might just grab that backward design plan and put it in the chat. We wanted to, this has been a goal that we've kind of been crawling towards, or, at least limping towards a little bit, a goal to start with backward design. It's very, very important. And we decided this time that we were just going to find a way to make the time that we can think about like what we want students to understand and know and be able to do, how they check that they've, how do we check that they've learned, and what learning activities will lead students to the desired results. So we hope you like this and that it's useful. You can let us know if this is helpful for you. but we put a couple of backward design models here. And we want you just to take about 5 minutes to for yourselves to just fill in. I'm going to add more here, but kind of thinking about what your interest is. And this is why we kind of wanted you to think about that before coming, but maybe something's changed since you saw things right now, right? In order to insert a row below, you can just, on the left-hand side, you can click on the plus, or I will make them for you. But we have the ePortfolio based classroom here, and then the personal and professional course site liquid syllabus. So the questions that we have are what type, so personal, professional, course site, liquid syllabus, etc. What do you want to communicate with the ePortfolio? What artifacts will you need to include, and what supports will you need? Okay, so the questions are slightly different depending on that. So for instance, the ePortfolio based classroom asks about what artifact options might students display to show their learning. This will help you a lot to center, what you need, so that when we go into on Monday, we're going to really focus on all of the nuts and bolts stuff. So Friday is going to be the day where we're going to look at the creating the shell and thinking about like the function, so you feel comfortable. And I know some of you are experts already, so you don't need that as much, but we'll still play with it, right? And then on Monday, we're going to, here's how we do these things, right? And that will be the deeper dive. And then Friday, the following Friday, sorry, did I say Monday? I meant Wednesday. And then the following Friday will be the day when we're going to do a peer review of what you've come up with so far. And then we'll have more check-ins and those kind of things as we continue to grow as a community. Good stuff. Okay, I'm gonna stop talking and let you work. And Jared, what is our time looking like?
We actually have about 1:30.
Okay, so the page is under where Isha has the backward design plan link. So if you grab that, we have it here. Okay, so just to take some of the pressure off, just know that you can continue working on this over the time before Friday, because you're going to be looking at this together on Friday. But we did want to give you a few minutes to dive in a little bit, to just start the process as we do with our students, right? We kind of give them a preview and then we say, okay, you know how to do it, and if you have questions, this is another good reason to come on Monday to work with us as we keep going. And then at the bottom of the page, we have links for reading. So we have Understanding by Design from Vanderbilt. We have Equity 101 Design Principles. We have some different pieces. And then you're also going to be doing some reading. We also have a few videos, if that is the thing that makes your heart skip a beat. Oh, Antoinette, it's not letting, oh my God. Okay. Well, then that would be helpful. Yes, Jared, I would like to do that. Okay, so now that you can edit, see, this is why we do things ahead of time, right? If you had found this out at home, that would not have been cool. Okay, so we do unfortunately have to move forward. So hopefully you had some time to think right now, if not type. And then we'll talk about this more in depth on Friday. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and again, moving forward with our slides, we are looking at the unhomework, if that makes it seem more appealing. Okay, so these are the things that we're going to ask you to do. And then we have a GOTS and NEETs exit ticket. So if you do need to leave at the moment, please go into this exit ticket. And if you are planning to earn the badge for the labs, please put your name on it so that we have record of that. If not, we really appreciate you all. Oh my goodness, Jared and Isha, you're amazing. But we appreciate getting some insight into what you got out of the session and what you still need. That's very helpful. So please, again, take your time with that. But, if you can do that today, like after the session, it's the best practice to do that. And I just wanted to quickly take you into our Google site again, so I can go to this one. So I can show you the unhomework for today. So this is where you're going to go. You're going to click on, so if somebody could put the Google site in the chat again. And this is the session 1 unhomework. You click on that and you get to see the bulldog again. And we have 2 text sets that we would like you to, if you can do both text sets, that is ideal, because you'll be looking at both ePortfolios in general, and you'll be looking at backward design. Okay, but if your time is tight, and we know it is, then that is okay. Just choose one, and then you're going to put it in the shared Google Doc, and I will link that here. Did not do that yet. Sorry about that. Okay, so you're going to put that in the shared Google Doc, and that will be under the session 2. So it'll be, and I will move this up. So here it's going to be like, after completing the readings, please share the golden line from that work that you did. Okay, so that'll be there. Okay, we've got a 1-minute warning. So ePortfolio exploration, these are resources and resources and resources. Don't get overwhelmed. Just know that this is here for you. So some of you, again, are experts, and some of you need more support. So those things are there for you. And then there's a reflection. We always recommend, and I know you do too, that we reflect, because we're not going to remember later. And it's kind of nice to be able to tell the story of your journey this summer, so that you can really understand the journey that you've been on, basically. Okay, so does anybody have any questions? We're at 11:31, so we don't want to keep you past time. If anybody does have any questions, please feel free to stay for a few minutes. We'll be here for a bit, so please feel free to stay. We just, I don't know, co-facilitators, please unmute yourselves, and we're going to say thank you. We're going to say thank you, and we're going to also say like how much we appreciate you. Oh my goodness. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We appreciate you.
Thank you.
Yes.
It always feels rushed this first day, but like honestly, it all comes together, I promise.
That's right. That's right. It's a lot of stuff. However, we are here together, and I think that's one of the most important things, for us to remember.